Hello and welcome to AITPM News. And in this edition we cover, will autonomous vehicles really reduce accidents by over 90%? ANCAP to make automatic emergency braking a necessity for 5 stars, the not-so-fast train to Canberra, and a historical note, how did a road authority appeal to the public at the 1969 Easter Show? Proponents of autonomous vehicles often claim that they will reduce road accidents by over 90%, but Alan Thomas from the automotive consultancy CAVT has thrown doubt on this figure. The 90% figure comes from a summary by the US Department of Transport on critical reasons for crashes, investigated in the National Motor Vehicle Collision Causation Survey, and that attributes 94% plus or minus 2% of critical crashes to driver error. Human error is a major factor, but often it is multiple factors that cause the crash, so potentially eliminating one reason may not mitigate against a crash. The largest human factor was errors of recognition. But can an autonomous vehicle recognise all the danger signs, including variable message signs or local signs that have unique characteristics? Infrastructure and traffic do not conform to standards and are subject to huge variations locally, nationally and internationally. And it is not just recognising other road users such as cyclists, but to recognise them with enough time to react. Thomas suggests that autonomous vehicles may reduce crashes by less than 50%, although another issue is whether they will reduce the severity of a major proportion of crashes. Part of the answer might be in an approach the Australian Road Research Board has raised, where critical infrastructure sends messages to the vehicle that clearly specifies things such as temporary speed limits. In the near future, new cars in Australia will need to have automatic emergency braking if they are to get a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. Speaking on a webinar organised by the Australian Road Research Board, James Goodwin, the CEO of ANCAP, noted that only 13 of the top 100 selling cars in Australia had AEB as standard, which accounted for only 9% of all sales.
Our analysis with Euro ANCAP has shown that there's a 38% reduction in real-world rear-end crashes for vehicles fitted with this sort of technology. We've also seen that Euro NCAP has estimated there'll be about a 27% reduction in fatality crashes. So the research here is quite real. We're also seeing some other research coming from the other end, that some of those brands that introduced this technology a few years ago, the Volvos, the Mercedes, the BMWs, they are actually not selling as many spare parts in terms of front and rear bumpers for cars fitted with that technology, and in countries where AEB is much more common. So we can see from that end as well that this actually has quite a lot of benefits.
A link to the full webinar is available on the AITPM website. The headline in Fairfax Media read, Andrew Leigh urges New South Wales Government to support Canberra to Sydney high-speed train. We need to get beyond the headlines. High speed is a relative term. The latest proposal on the table is not a very fast train with speeds of 300 kilometres an hour or more on a special track. Rather, it is a fast tilt train on the existing alignment with perhaps some upgrades. What is the reality? We consulted a number of experts who are familiar with a 1995 trial of a tilt train to Canberra and the 2001 VHST scoping study for the Howard government. The current proponent, Spanish company Talgo, said it would cost less than $100 million. The experts say this is optimistic, to say the least. Doing the trip in 2 hours would mean averaging over 145 kilometres an hour without stops and without slowing down for level crossings. A trial in 1995 achieved a time of 3 hours and 25 minutes with existing conditions and a non-tilt XPT engine. The latest proposal is, we understand, for passive tilting trains, which are suited to low platforms that we do not have. A 2-hour travel time would need active tilting trains, which was estimated some time ago to cost $1.5 billion in 1997 dollars. Such a proposal would effectively delay the construction of a very fast train for the foreseeable future, and the ultimate test would be a comparison of customer satisfaction with an autonomous car journey. AITPM member Graham Patterson has passed on a historical video that the New South Wales Road Authority has found and placed on YouTube. It is an unedited film with no soundtrack of the DMR stand at the 1969 Royal Easter Show. It was a time when road construction had a fascination that it does not seem to have today. The modelling of road construction and a car struggling to navigate a twisty road seems rather quaint, yet it reflects a time when we were making major changes to our road network. The map of the major highways and the historical figures after whom they were named is a link to history that we should not lose sight of. As this was just 3 years after the start of our institute, the use of a helicopter is a clear indication of new technology that was an important part of the development of projects such as the SCATS Coordinated Traffic Light Control System. Graham noted that the children's clothes did not have company logos on them. Links to the film and the interview are on the AITPM website.